The final transmission from Ark-9 did not come through the communication array like normal signals. It arrived as a broken whisper hidden under a storm of static, like someone trying to speak through a dying machine. The signal carried no identification code, no time stamp, no routing marks. Just a faint trembling voice repeating my name and begging me to listen before it was too late. I had never served on Ark-9. I had never known anyone aboard it. Yet the voice sounded like someone who knew me better than I knew myself. Ark-9 had vanished 3 years earlier during a long-range expedition beyond charted space. All official reports listed it as destroyed by engine failure. No survivors. No debris. But now the impossible transmission pulsed through my console, flashing coordinates far beyond the regions any living ship should reach. The room lights flickered as the signal strengthened like something was climbing through the network. I should have reported it, but instead I locked the channel and traced the coordinates myself. The location pointed to a dead region called the Hollow Drift, a silent zone where even automated probes failed to send data. Scientists claimed it was just dark matter interference, but old pilots whispered about something else waiting between the stars. I ignored the warnings and boarded my survey craft alone, drawn by something in the trembling voice. Something too scared to lie. The trip took 8 days. During the second night, the ship hull vibrated with a soft rhythmic hum, as if something leaned against the outer plates, breathing slowly. I checked the scanners, but nothing appeared on any display. On the fourth day, the stars ahead dimmed one by one, as if an invisible curtain passed over them. The engine temperature dropped below freezing for several minutes, without explanation. On the seventh day, I found scratches along the inside of the observation window, even though no one else was on board. When I finally entered the hollow drift, space looked wrong. Not empty. Distorted. Light bent in strange curves. My sensors showed phantom signals circling the ship, moving too fast and too silent to track. Then the Ark appeared behind a veil of black dust. Ark-9 floated lifeless, with no rotation, no beacon, no heat. Its hull was covered in deep gashes, like something had scraped across it with claws made of metal and bone. The docking bay hung open, like a mouth frozen mid-scream. I sent a search request, but no response came. Only a long, low vibration crawling through the deck under my feet. I forced myself to dock anyway. Curiosity again. Always my mistake. The moment I stepped into Ark-9, the doors behind me sealed themselves with a heavy shudder. My suit lights flickered weakly, as if the air itself was swallowing the brightness. The corridors were coated in a thin dust that clung to my boots like ash. No bodies, no blood, no signs of struggle, just empty silence stretched across empty halls. Then I heard it, a faint static whisper drifting through the dark like someone hiding behind the walls. It repeated my name again, but slower, weaker, as if coming from far underwater. I followed the whisper deeper into the ship, passing through sections where the metal looked melted, as if exposed to impossible heat. In one hallway, I saw a handprint burned into the wall, long fingers stretched unnaturally far apart. I reached the command deck and found something worse than bodies. Every console was active, but the screens showed no data, only reflections of the room, as if the system was mirroring reality, not displaying information. In one reflection, I saw someone standing behind me, but when I turned, no one was there. The static whisper rose again, this time filled with fear, telling me not to look too long at the reflections, telling me they were watching through them. The main logs were corrupted, except one file glowing faintly. It played without permission. The screen showed the Ark crew gathering around something they had found drifting in deep space. A sphere floating with no propulsion, emitting soft pulses of blue light. They had brought it aboard thinking it was a probe. They were wrong. The sphere opened, like an eye waking up. The crew screamed as the camera twisted violently, then the footage ended. A sudden thud echoed from the hall. Slow, dragging footsteps approached, scraping the floor with uneven rhythm. My suit lights trembled as shadows shifted beyond the doorway, bending into shapes that did not match any human form. The whispering voice returned, shouting for me to run. I sprinted through the corridor toward engineering, hearing the heavy scraping behind me growing faster, more frantic. The air temperature plummeted, frost forming across the walls. I reached the engine chamber, but it had changed into something unrecognizable. The reactor was gone, replaced by a swirling mass of dark fog, pulsating with faint blue sparks like the sphere from the log, but larger, breathing in slow waves. The voice whispered that the sphere had consumed the ship, taking its shape, building itself through memory and matter. It said the crew was not dead. They were absorbed. They were inside, the thing, still screaming. The shadows behind me twisted into a long, thin figure emerging from the corridor, crawling along the wall, like an insect made of bone and broken reflections. Its face was a shifting mask of crew members, flickering from one to another, each mouth stretched in silent terror. It reached toward me, with arms bending in ways human arms never should. The voice inside my head screamed again, louder this time, telling me to open the emergency vent and eject the core chamber. I slammed my hand on the manual release. The deck shuddered violently as the chamber walls split open, revealing the void outside. The swirling mass howled with a sound that shook my bones. The creature lunged at me, but the sudden decompression dragged everything toward the open breach, including it. I held onto the rail as the void roared, pulling the fog, the shadows, and the thing wearing the faces of the crew into the darkness. But just before it vanished, the creature looked at me with one shifting face and whispered something I still hear in my nightmares. It said I should not have come alone. I sealed the breach barely alive and escaped my ship. But the moment I undocked, the Ark shimmered and dissolved into the dark as if it had never existed. My communication array lit up again. A new signal. Same voice. Same trembling tone. But now it spoke one more sentence. It said Ark-9 was not the first ship to be taken. It said something else was coming. And then it asked me a question I have no answer for. It asked if I could hear the stars whispering yet.